Yes, FPL fans, how are we? My name is Gillers. We are back. We are here for the World Cup preview show. I'm joined by some special guests this evening. We are here for match day 1. The World Cup is kicking off tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. here in Australia. I'm joined by Sidenet, Peterson and Quentin from FPL Amateurs of Oz. Now, listen, we're going to have a bit of a World Cup chat. We're going to chat a little bit about the fantasy for World Cup, but we are just going to, just get around the World Cup vibes. We've already got a guy at the Fan Fest already with Quentin. he's been on the rave all day, enjoying a few beers outside the stadium, not inside the stadium.
Non-alcoholic, of course.
Oh, he's all about the zeros, this guy. Q, how are we, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you? I'm absolutely pumped for this World Cup. It's only been, 4 years since the last one. So, yeah, absolutely pumped.
Yeah, feeling really good, mate. Obviously, England have been making some great progress over the last couple of years. With it, the Euro Grand Final. We also did the World Cup semi-final as well. So, yeah, buzzing to be here and with you boys on the pod. Even the Socceroos are joining us as well. Q.
No, you're lucky that the Socceroos aren't in Europe, mate. Otherwise, you might have a bit of competition for the European Cup. So
it could be in the Commonwealth, mate, but not in the Euros. But we're also joined by, as I mentioned, FPL Sidenet Peterson. Joined us for one of the first. It's been a while since I think you. Is it your debut on the FPL Addicts?
I'm popping my cherry tonight on the Addicts pod. So
I love it.
Who better to do it with this marvelous threesome of you two?
That's it. Well, it's a bit of a celebrity lineup, this, I feel. So I'm delighted to bring you both onto the podcast together and celebrate the World Cup. But yeah, Peterson, it's obviously great to have you on, and we're all too familiar with the FPL social and chatting on there. And obviously, big fan of the podcast as well, mate. But you're buzzing for the Socceroos to be in the World Cup and competing, maybe, or maybe not competing.
Well, who knows? Like Quentin is he's up and about. He thinks we're topping the group at the moment, but maybe I'm not that confident. But I'm really looking forward to just absorbing myself in football for the next month, and I might have to go see my family once in a while just to make appearances. But yeah, it's all football.
Yeah, well, it is the takeover. What 4 weeks of World Cup action? Like I said, it's kicking off at 3 a.m. tomorrow. Qatar, in that it's strange. Obviously, we're all aware it's very strange that the World Cup is being hosted there. And everyone's had to say about it. But what do we think about it? Like, I know the stadiums that have been built, the infrastructure, it's different. It's obviously November. Very first time ever World Cup's kind of been hosting this kind of period, I believe. Has it been a big disruption, or do you think it's still welcome? Q.
I might just say one good point. Okay, say a couple of positives and a couple of negatives.
Go on.
A couple of positives. We're going to get players peak fitness, because it's usually they say they start to hit the straps halfway through the season. So we haven't quite got halfway through the season, and now we've got a World Cup. So you've got players that have had 15 weeks of football under their belt. So they're coming in fit. Usually it's in the off season. So players are winding down and then going to the cup. So I guess that's a positive. And it seems like it's a bit of a party vibe as well. Speaking to D10 football, he said that it's all the stadiums are all in amongst each other. So you can almost go to all 3 games if you really want to, because it's not that far of a distance. So it's sort of created a bit of a fan fest, I guess, because it's also the same area. You've got lots of areas that you can go watch the games outside the stadium. So, but then, obviously, in the middle of the year, disrupts every single, league of relevance in the world just to host the World Cup. So for me, there's just, too many hurdles had to be jumped through to get this World Cup, and they could have just, gave it to a country that had everything ready to go. But yeah, I'll still enjoy it regardless of all the issues going on. I'm a football tragic, so I'll still watch.
Well, yeah, you're going to be up for that 3 a.m. one with Qatar and Ecuador, so we'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. But Peterson, what are your thoughts on the World Cup kind of happening at this period and where it's located?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, growing up, the World Cup was always like the pinnacle. It was such a highlight, and we always had such a big runway into the World Cup. Once the European seasons are finished, felt like we had a few weeks, and you get like the build up would just be absolutely electric, and then the tournament kicks off. But I know this one feels a little bit compromised. We literally had Premier League football this time last week, and now we're just everyone's got to switch gears. I mean,
feels a little bit rushed. Like it feels
does.
well, not a little bit. It's very rushed,
it is.
Right?
Yeah, it feels rushed. It feels compromised. Like teams are still rocking up to Qatar now. So yeah,
That's insane.
I mean, yeah, in that aspect, it's a bit disappointing. I mean, yeah, there's so much commentary about how this event has actually come to be. Allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly on the stream. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Don't get in trouble on here, mate. Come on, you're a guest on here, mate.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's to me, it feels like there's a lot of grey with this World Cup.
Yeah.
But I'm focusing at the moment. I'm just purely focusing on the football. I'm excited to see the football. I mean, everyone's talking about the temperatures. I mean, quite often it's hot at a World Cup anyway. But I mean, at least if they played this when it was supposed to, players probably would have killed over in like 50-degree heat. So
yeah, very true. It's pretty warm out there, to say the least. But listen, I went to the World Cup in 2002. Went to Japan, and the humidity was immense. Do you know what I mean? I went to England, Argentina, where Beckham scored that penalty. Right, I was in the stadium for that goal and the win. And it was so hot, but it was an air-conditioned indoor stadium because it's a baseball arena as well.
The Giants stadium there in Tokyo. Yeah,
that's it. So it was, that was hot. So I mean, these air-conditioned stadiums, I'm sure. Well, you hope they've got it right and everything's going to be okay in there. But like I say, it's usually the peak of summer in the majority of the places where the World Cup's played, anyway, isn't it? So
that's all right.
Clubs, I always think about the Premier League and what weather they play in. Like, obviously, the total opposite most of the time. But obviously, all the countries are competing from around the world. The heat should be, the norm to some countries for sure.
Yeah. I'm just gonna throw it out there that if they had hosted in Australia, would have had perfect temperatures, winter, England would have loved it. So just a shout out there to any of the FIFA officials that are watching. Australia, mate.
Well, obviously the Women's World Cup, we've got that next year, and that's probably the best you're going to get for the moment.
That's right. The Matildas are better than the Socceroos, so we'll take it, mate. We might win it.
And that is true. It's a nice segue to discuss how good or bad this Socceroos team is. Obviously, they're in the World Cup. They haven't got those big names that we're used to, but we've got two Aussies on the podcast today, so I'm keen to hear your thoughts on how it all looks and what we're expecting from this Socceroos team. And I don't want to reel off some of the stronger players, where they're weak, where they're strong. But Kieran, I'm going to throw it to you first, mate, and see what your thoughts and what your take on this Socceroos team.
There's been a lot of news around how it's not the strongest team we've had, but on paper, there's not the big names that we've had in previous years. But when you actually look at some of the players, they're all in form. Like Craig Goodwin's probably had the best start to an A-League season I've seen him have ever. And, that's going back a lot of years. And then Lecky, who's also refound his form as well. Then you've got McLaren, who's scoring goals for fun. Then you've got Garen Quoll, who, in my opinion, everyone's saying, is he as good as Arzani? I think he's better than Arzani. He looks more of an accomplished player and ready to, take on that role as, the next big thing for Australian football. And then, Cummings, the cum dog, at first I thought it was a bit of a meme, his name when he come to the A-League, but he's actually been in really good form as well. So there's a lot of players in a lot of form. And then also Harry Suter, who, who just came back from injury, but even a 50% fit Harry Suter is a quality player. So I think that a lot of people are sort of underrating our squad. I think it's actually a decent squad for what, the players we have, but they're all in form. So I'm actually quietly confident we can at least make a good account for ourselves. I'm not saying we're going to win the group, but I think a lot of people are thinking we're going to get pantsed by France and Denmark and then, fight it out with Tunisia, where I think that we can make a good account for ourselves in all three games, just depending on whether we have enough to get the wins, because scoring goals has always been our biggest issue in the past in World Cups. We haven't scored a lot of goals. So that's probably going to be our weakness this World Cup is, are we going to score enough goals to make it out of the group? But I think that we have enough quality to at least make games interesting.
Yeah, right. So you sound very optimistic about the Socceroos in this team. Obviously, do you think the team cohesion is probably the strongest it's been for a while because it doesn't have all these big egos, or do you think do you think it's missing? Do you think it's the opposite?
No, I actually think that the cohesion might be pretty decent because as we alluded to, there's 8 players from the A-League that are currently in the squad. So they're all playing against each other, with each other. So I think, a lot of them sort of, I guess, have known each other for a while. So I don't see there's going to be any issues that way. It's just going to depend whether we've had enough time to gel on the pitch. It'll just be interesting.
Yeah, right. And Peterson, you've got the jersey there. Is this a new one, or is this where we are? Because we've got a couple of areas in the background as well.
New one, the Jackson Irvine one, freshly printed, just behind me there the other day. Got it at our friends Ultra Football. Just give him a nice little plug there.
Absolutely, mate. You had a little experience in there when shopping.
Yeah, I was in there. I was sending you photos, trying to see what you wanted, but yeah. I only had the slim fits for you, brother.
That's it, mate. Well, I think I go all right in them sometimes, but
I reckon you fit into that.
So what's your take, mate? How do you think these the Socceroos are going to get on? Obviously, Q's reeled off a few players he thinks are going to make an impact. Obviously, the attacking line looks the most frightening part. How you think they're set up defensively and how you think they're going to go?
Yeah, look, I'm hopeful. I think that the advantage that we have this time around is we're used to playing in Qatar. We've played in Qatar numerous times. We've played that mini tournament back in May to reach the World Cup. We've been there now for basically over a week. So hopefully our preparation and just being used to those conditions maybe gives us a slight advantage and maybe just brings the level a little bit closer to a team like France, because, France, quite famously, like Benzema's had to pull out of the cup this morning. Plus, and Cuckoo's out, Kante, Kimpembe, Pogba. So they're heading into this
big names,
limping.
Man. Big names.
They're big names. And they're nearly all starters as well. Like, it's really big losses. But, we might be able to sort of catch them off guard in the first game. If our fitness is good, we're used to the conditions, maybe France might even take us a little bit for granted again, which they did last time.
That's what you're hoping for, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so first game in, they may just want to ease themselves into it, whereas Graham Arden might tell our boys, go out there, go 100 right from the get go, and let's put them under pressure and see what happens. If we get a cheeky goal, we'll be parking the bus and big Harry Suter in his 2-meter frame just in front of the goals there next to Matty Ryan, try and stop him.
It's So just take us back to that the France game last time. What was the score in the end there?
It was 2-1 last time.
2-1. Did Socceroos score first, or was it a penalty?
No, France scored first. Then we got a penalty thanks to
that was
I think it was Umtiti handballed it in the box. So if any France players want to, feel free to handball the ball again for us. That'd be fantastic. We need all the help we can get, but
at least we have the VAR this time, so guaranteed, mate. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. But Q was talking about our squad cohesion. Yeah, there's a lot of A-League players, but there's also a lot of players from Scotland. This is almost a Scottish Socceroos side. Like, not only do we have a lot of naturalized Aussies that are Scottish, but a lot of our team plays in the SPL as well. Like, so hopefully a lot of them are getting regular game time, which helps.
What league do you think's better, A-League or SPL?
Europe will
depends
always...
if you're on Twitter or not.
Look, I think for these guys, like playing it at the Scottish Premier League, like it's a decent level, isn't it? So, yeah.
Only when you're playing against the two teams that are in it.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I think there's 3 players from Hearts there. So, yeah, a lot of familiar names there. But yeah, I'm hopeful.
Well, and listen, I'm sure Mr. Arnold is as well. It's fingers crossed for the Socceroos. It's a very tough fixture, of course, as we know, but there are many things that are probably maybe could go the way. Like say, if you get an early goal, maybe the temperature, the heat, acclimatise. It's first game as well. They've had such a short prep. But obviously, the biggest news, which Peterson's alluded to already, Benzema is out. The Ballon d'Or winner, he's out. He's out of the World Cup. It's over for him. Like, how big a news is that? That's bigger than this Ronaldo interview, surely. Yeah,
it's huge. It's such a big loss. Like, we're talking about the best player in the world. I mean, he didn't feature at the last World Cup for very controversial reasons off the pitch. Yeah, but after giving a second chance, he was primed to absolutely destroy this World Cup. And unfortunately for him, he's going to miss it. And at his age, what is he, 34, 35? So he's
I feel like he's 34, 35.
Yeah, it's probably last chance saloon. So that might be it for Benzema at a World Cup.
I feel like France are a bunch of Terminators. You know, one goes down and another one takes his place. You got
true.
sexy looking Giroud walks in and
Do you know
it's frustrating.
Who's getting called up? Do you know who's getting called up for him? Have you seen any news?
I hope it's Martial.
Yeah,
you think so?
It might be Martial or even Ben Yedder, who's had a very good season at Monaco, and he's always been on the fringes of that France side. He's been in and out over the last few years. So yeah, they need a forward. So it just depends who Deschamps likes.
Yeah,
I'd probably rather Ben Yedder just so Harry Suter can put him in his pocket.
He's always been better on FIFA, hasn't he, Ben Yedder? Rather than in real life. But I think Martial could be, obviously he's not had heaps of game time, has he? Obviously United, but, because of injury. But he looks so good when he's been playing. Obviously, myself and Q know that, being United fans. He has looked sharp and he's looked more on it rather than just nothing about him, not interested. He had a good pre-season over here as well. Would be good to see him in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've got Mbappe, Giroud, Griezmann. They're not exactly struggling for goals, are they?
We're just talking about a bench warmer, aren't we? Getting called up. It's not
that's right.
Not necessarily.
Wear a bib and take part in the practice matches.
Yeah, look good on the wall. We'll do a couple of stretches, say a few hellos, and go from there. But you mentioned like Kante, like not in.
Yeah.
Pogba not in. World Cup winners. The strength in the midfield. It's so they're so good in there and so talented. Without them, I don't like who's going to be coming in for France. Do you think who's going to be playing, against the Socceroos?
Is it Camavinga? What's his name? And Chachimi or whatever he is from Real Madrid.
From Real.
Jamani, Jamani's he's.
I mean, they're good players.
Unbelievable.
Young players. So I'm hoping we can kind of play on that with our experience.
Is Rabiot in the team?
He is. So, I mean, their midfield isn't as strong as last time around. That's probably their weakest point in.
And we've got Voldemort, so Voldemort will be in our midfield. So
Chazza from the FPL Addicts, who's not joined us on the podcast for the World Cup. He keeps saying he's not playing fantasy football in the World Cup, but he's watching the World Cup. He said he just thought popping and saying hi. He needs some sleep for his 2 a.m. ceremony. Another tragic. He will be watching at the Fan Fest with you, Q.
Mate, the Chazza I knew would have been on the Coronas now, getting ready while doing the pod.
You're not wrong, but I am sipping a Moretti. I'm just giving a cheers to the Italians who aren't in the World Cup. So cheers, guys. Hope you enjoy watching England win the World Cup.
Damo is absolutely filthy right now. Hearing that.
Just for you, that Damo, mate. Right, okay. So Socceroos discussed a bit of their team, obviously a bit of a preview into that one. Who's captain of the Socceroos?
Is it Voldemort or is it
Matty Ryan? I think
Matty Ryan.
Oh, actually, it is Matty Ryan.
Yeah.
Right, okay. All right. All good. So, and where's he playing now?
Sitting on the bench at Copenhagen FC.
Wow.
Mate, don't even get me started on a rant with that whole situation. Old mate is an absolute tosspot. That's starting.
Oh dear. All right. Well, that's enough of that one. Right. So we're gonna go through predictions and stuff that later on, but just a quick one before. Like, we'll do a quick little preview. Where do you think we're going to be ranking here for the Socceroos? Are you going to be going? You've got France, you've got Tunisia, you've got Denmark in there. Where do you see yourself progressing? Peterson, you first.
Look, I think in our group, Group D, I think Denmark's going to top the group. I just think they're so solid, and they're primed for this World Cup. And I think France will finish second. There's still a lot of quality there, but we know France. They do love a self-implosion every once in a while. We all remember their little bus protest at 2010 in South Africa, where they had a bit of a soot. But I think we could get third.
Go for third.
Yeah.
So you're happy with that? You're happy with third? You're not going to try and push
I'd love to get. I would love to get through. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also a realist.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And Q, how about you, mate?
My heart says
you're going first with attitude, aren't you?
Yeah. My heart says Denmark to top the group and us to come second. France in a close third, but reality, I think that I could see us missing out on goal difference, finishing third. I think it's going to be one of those cups where we might be tied on points, but just haven't scored enough goals, and we're going to finish third.
Yeah, finish third. Listen, I think third's getting very respectable, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
I think, every credit and a big shout out to Oshspike, who he wishes Ange was still the manager. Do you reckon Ange is a better manager than what Arnold has showed?
I think he is. Yeah, he plays football and does it at all costs. So regardless of wanting to keep a clean sheet, he'll always play football, regardless of the side. Whereas Arnold will set up for the side, and if he has to play more defensive, he will, which is not good to watch as a football fan. But here's what it is.
Yeah. Look, if we're 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes of the France game, I'm already hashtagging Arnold out. So got the drafts already saved.
Got a draft save ready to start trending. I've just put on the ticker and below as well. We probably will touch on a little bit of World Cup fantasy just towards the end. But if you do want to join our World Cup fantasy league mini for the World Cup, you can join that. I'm just going to wait for the ticker to come back across. The code is QFO63SEV.
I feel like I'm at a telethon. Call the number below. Donate.
Call the number below to donate. We're currently on. So what we'll move on. The FPL Rev, another one who's just missing out tonight. Cheers, Rev, for not joining. What a podcast this is, better than the usual rabble anyways. Absolutely is, mate. You and Reedy just waffling and waffling. I do miss it though. The FPL podcast will be back obviously in a month's time, which is pretty crazy to say as well, isn't it? But we're going to be obviously scouting. We're all on international duty here, lads. So we're going to be scouting and seeing what's going on.
I have 4.3 million reasons why I'm going to enjoy this break from FPL.
If that doesn't say enough, then what we'll do, we'll jump. I'll bring up the groups here now. Obviously, we just talked. I'm outnumbered tonight. We were supposed to have Ollie and Elliot on here, so it was meant to be 3 English versus 2 Aussies, but now it's switched. It's 2 Aussies versus 1 English. But obviously, we talked about Socceroos Group D. That's where they are. Lads, do you think that is the group of death, or do you think there's another group of death?
Nah. Look, I think if you're talking rankings-wise, Group B is the toughest one because the rankings of those teams are really close.
Yeah. I think it's like top 20, like three of the countries top 20. So I think that was a stat I saw.
Yeah, but maybe Group E. I think if we're going to go Group of Death, for me it's Group E. Spain, Germany, Japan, like 3 decent sides there.
Well, what we'll do, we'll talk about Group E in just a second. Let's talk about England, obviously. the future winners of the World Cup. I put a tweet out the other day, right? And it was the last 5 World Cups have been won by 5 different countries. Are you ready for a 6th country? England, 6 World Cup. This will be it now. 6 World Cups, 6 different winners. Like that's, it's ready. It's prime. England got a great team. Didn't need Reece James. Don't need Ben Chilwell. England are now primed, ready to win this World Cup. We've got,
mate. You got Trippier. You don't need Chilwell, mate. Trippier is all you need.
The bonus point king, clean sheet king. He's on, isn't he? A lot of players. I think similar to what you were saying, Q. There's a lot of English players, a lot of Socceroos who are in form, right? Obviously in the A-League or wherever, what respective leagues they play in. England, even though the proposed maybe back 2 in the middle of if it is Maguire or not the form, but it's likes of Trips in there. Excited for Kane has been banging. If it's Pope starting, looking great as well. I don't know if Pickford's going to start. Obviously, who knows. But a couple of players are really in form, and I'm excited for him. Like loving what Jude Bellingham's doing at Dortmund. He's a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. Declan Rice. You just love how he performs for the shirt for England as well. He's proper old school English, but technically very gifted as well. And going into this group, Iran first up is just a perfect start, I think, without jinxing it, which I've definitely just jinxed us now. Obviously, Tuesday midnight here in Australia. I'm ready to see a couple of goals in this and set us up for this USA and Wales game, which are going to be tough fixtures. Absolutely. I don't think there's any denying that. That USA team, they've got about 400 midfielders who just run and technically very gifted. And the Wales one, obviously a bogey team who we're definitely going to struggle against because it's just going to be just like
a derby.
It's such a derby, man. It's such a big derby. I'm hoping on the next pod that we do before the Wales game. So one of my mates, he was an under 21 with Wales, and he played with Bale. I think Bale was 14 at the time in the under 21s, and he was 21. That's how good Gareth Bale is, right? So I think we're trying and get him on next week for next week's edition. But going back to it, England first game up versus Iran. Boys, do you think it's an easy one for us or what?
I think defensively, Iran are going to be good, but I think it's going to be good for England because they're going to have to try to break them down, and I think they do have the players. I think this is going to be the breakout World Cup for Phil Foden. I think he could have one of those tournaments where afterwards everyone's going, wow, I didn't realise how good he was. Yeah. So I think that they can definitely get the win against Iran, but I think it might be tight early on.
Yeah, it's a big stage for Phil Foden. You know, we know what he is capable of. Those who've watched him a fair bit, obviously as avid, fantasy managers, we've got an investment in him. He's always in and out of the squads because he does get this rotation with Pep. But for England, we just feel like it is a big stage and it is primed for him as well to perform. He's been well rested the last couple of weeks, as we know in Premier League. So it's got to be time.
He's been primed.
Oh my God, Gareth better not be rotating. But Peterson, what do you reckon about this Iran game, mate?
Interesting. Carlos Queiroz is back managing Iran. So I think he was in charge for them when they won the Asian Cup years ago. So they absolutely love him, but he plays the most dullest brand of football ever. So it's going to be one of those games where England have to try and really break down Iran. And like you guys talked on players like Phil Foden.
Do you think we'll be trying to break down them or they'll be trying to break down us?
No, you'll be trying to break down them because they're just going to sit back. 10 men behind the ball, one man standing on the halfway line.
Oh my God. Yeah, Carlos Queiroz on the halfway line as well.
Yeah.
Don't push up, don't come past me.
But I mean, this is a game where players like, Jude Bellingham, who can just like pick out a pass like with such ease. Like they're going to be so pivotal for this game. And it all comes down to if England can get that early goal, then you just got to force a run out and pick them off on the counter. And Sterling, Foden, all that, like that pace. They might have a field day. And Harry Kane's probably going to score another 100 penalties at this tournament, isn't he? So load up for Golden Boot.
You're celebrating every single one of them. But it's the Iran. Listen, it's going to be difficult, but I always feel like the second half of them kind of games always, they come out at half time and they just can't continue that momentum sort of thing. And you break them down, you start banging the goals. Fingers crossed, but it is England, and we know
for your sake.
Yeah, for my
I've
sake.
actually picked England and Wales to come out of this group. Actually, rate Wales.
Yeah, well, this is where we're going on to next. So obviously facing up against USA and then Wales in that kind of order, and then we'll work out where we think. Definitely going to be close, of course. USA and Wales maybe pretty similar in terms of where they fit in the rankings, but squad-wise, a couple of standout players, but not totally around the squad. Q, do you want to touch on Wales? As soon as you just mentioned you are a bit of a fan.
Yeah, they actually have some quality. I was just going through their squad the other day. So they've got Harry Wilson from Fulham. They've got Nico Williams. They've got Brennan Johnson. They've got Gareth Bale. They have some real quality players. So I think that they have enough to get second in this group. I think them and USA are really it's going to be pretty close, but I could see England probably having this group wrapped up after two games and, maybe resting that third game and, Wales and USA fighting out for that sort of last spot.
Yeah, I mean, the USA have got a really young squad as well, like a pretty inexperienced one in terms of obviously longevity-wise. I mean, Pulisic is obviously the standout there. Not had a great couple of years at Chelsea, so perfect segue for our Chelsea fan here. Peterson, is he the main man, and do you think he can carry the team?
Well, there's a lot riding on his shoulders, but he has shown when he, wears the stars and stripes that he wants to be the man. And he always shows that when he's playing for the national side. And maybe this might be a tournament too early for the USA side. Like you said, they're really young, but it's a team that's developing, and they're probably going to be hitting their peak at the next World Cup when they're actually hosting it. So there's a real contrast between them and Wales. So it feels like Wales are heading into this tournament. Like Gareth Bale's been managing his minutes for the last 3 years, ahead of this tournament. 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So he's. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of minutes, but he will make sure that he's ready to play. At least 3 90-minute games here at this tournament. And Ramsey's Ramsey. Ramsey just turns into beast mode whenever Wales appear at a tournament at the moment. They've been unbelievable at the Euros, and we've seen the effect that the fans have for this Welsh team. They really are the 12th man for them. And I mean, they haven't been at a World Cup since, what was it, the 50s? So 1954,
I feel.
Yeah,
or 58,
54 or 58.
Yeah,
something like that. So they're going to be up and about. But I think I'm tipping USA to finish second in this group. I just think with their youth, their pressing football, there's a lot of quality. Gio Reyna's a great player. Weston McKennie's a great player. There's, Aronson from Leeds as well. So, maybe they might have just a little bit too much quality and depth for Wales. But that said, Wales at the World Cup could be anything.
Yeah, I feel like that when we touched on earlier with the France team, they've just got player after player in some of the positions. I feel like the USA have got that in the forward midfield, but just all very similar players. Like you see, we reeled off quite a few there. Reyna might not even start.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's one of the brightest talents in the world. In terms of obviously what his potential is. But so it's kind of exciting from that attacking point of view with them, but inexperienced and probably a bit too soon. Hands up if you want to go to America to the World Cup in 2026. Super keen to go, man. I want to be at a real fan fest in America.
There you go. Next FPL social event.
Oh,
USA.
How good would that be?
Mate, have it at Las Vegas, mate. How good.
Guess who's not coming back?
All of us, probably.
Vegas now.
I forgot to mention the magical man Denny Ward also plays for Wales.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my. So, if the Rev is still watching, oh, my God. How many clean sheets do you have? Do you have 3-4 clean sheets on the bounce towards the end of the season?
I started him for 2 of the last 3 clean sheets, so it's, he's the best player I have in my side at the moment, so it's good.
Wales #1, Danny Ward.
And they have Ben Davies as well, so they've got some.
They've got a good core in terms of the experience, but it's not obviously when you look at England have got this ridiculous amount of talent in every position as well. All players.
There's a player from America to look at, a young player. His name's Jesus Ferreira. He plays for FC Dallas. He just come off a season scoring 18 goals, and he looks phenomenal as well. So probably one to watch.
Love it, getting that one in. And so just finishing on Wales. Obviously Gareth Bale, the main man, definitely steps up for his country every time. Unbelievable player on his day, scores the big goals. Praying there isn't a goal in him against England, of course. Feel free to make it rain against Iran. And the USA, but he is the main man. He scored some, an important goal for LAFC just recently as well in the cup. There, he scored in finals. He knows where the net is, doesn't he? And he's got potential to be to make it happen for Wales to get him through in second.
Yeah. Actually, England playing USA. You've never beaten USA at a World Cup before.
Well. Is that a fact?
So you played him in the you played him in the 50s,
okay,
and there was a massive upset where the USA won, and then 2010 World Cup, the Clint Dempsey equaliser,
won all.
Listen, equaliser too.
I feel like USA are the same though. They've got this lack of experience in there now in terms of the squad. Tim Howard would have been in goal then. Prime Tim Howard. Clint Dempsey, Landon Donovan played for Everton, of course, in the Prem, but a workhorse and knows where the net was. Who else we got in there, American-wise? God knows. But there's obviously a lot of strong players, experienced players. And Clint Dempsey was so underrated
he was great
as a player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously had stints at Fulham and Tottenham. But Yeah, USA now, like Pulisic, I really rated him when he first arrived at Chelsea. And you're going, this guy, he's like Hazard 2.0, isn't he? Like in terms of his technical ability. Yeah, at the start, and then he's wearing a lot of injuries. But predictions for me, listen, England first, of course. USA second, Iran third. Wales can finish bottom for all I care.
Ruthless.
Absolutely. But let's have a quick one. Like, did you guys want to touch on Group E? I guess I know you mentioned obviously that was a bit of a group of death for you guys. Spain, Germany in there, the big hitters, Costa Rica, and also Japan. How do you think that one's going to turn out then in terms of the group of death? If you feel
I have Japan topping this group.
Wow.
And Spain coming second and Germany missing out.
Say something controversial for the pod, mate. I love it.
Whoa.
What have Japan got to offer then in terms of finishing top of Group E?
I just think they actually have a lot of quality in their side. A lot of people are, I'll say, pundits from England are sort of rubbishing the Asia teams at the World Cup, but I actually think they've got some quality, and they've shown against us twice in our qualifiers. They're just a very handy team, and I think they could actually, because they played in the Middle East, during the qualifying campaign in these countries that are similar to what Qatar is going to be like. And Germany, I think, are at the end of their, I guess, their reign of being a powerhouse team. I think they're going to be good, but I think they could catch Germany out. And I think Spain sometimes will start a little bit slow in a World Cup, and I just think that Japan could be ready to go. And I think it's going to be close, but yeah, I just think Japan have got enough quality there that they could shock a couple of these sides and get the points early in the group.
Yeah, wow. Obviously, you mentioned Germany are at the end of their cycle, maybe, but you got Neuer in there. He's 36 years old. You got Thomas Muller, who's made it into there. I feel like Miroslav Klose is going to make an appearance. Obviously, a German legend in there. Peter, what do you reckon to that though? Japan finishing top. Are you on that as well?
I'm not on that. I'll let Q have that. No, I think this Spain side is unbelievable. So they were great at the Olympics. They were great at the Euros. It's a mostly youngish side that Luis Enrique has sort of reformed over the last few years. And Luis Enrique is very confident on what this side can do as well. And I've seen a few people sort of predict them to go quite far in the tournament. And yeah, there's just so much quality. Even play like Alvaro Morata. He seems to be rubbish at club level, but for the Spanish national side, he seems to turn it on. And yeah,
he's Harry Maguire, mate.
Sorry?
He's Harry Maguire, rubbish club level.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea number 9, isn't he? That's what it is.
I should have hung his shirt up behind me tonight, actually. There's so much play like Pedri's just been unbelievable. The guy's played 1 billion minutes the last couple of years. I reckon even on off days he goes and plays random 11-a-side games.
Just goes and takes people's souls at the local football.
Just go play with kids in the street, whatever. Just constantly plays football. So
absolutely ruining lives.
It's a really good side, and Germany, they're not as strong as what they used to be, but there's a bit of potential there. And I mean, as a Kai Havertz truther, I'm quite keen to see how he goes leading the line.
I'll be putting him on the bench, but I think listen, they've got some young prospects in there like Makuko. He's obviously Dortmund. He's a free. He's been obviously playing for a couple as a youngster as well in the first team. But I think
Musiala.
Listen,
Jamal Musiala is he's hands down the hottest prospect player in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could have even been representing the Three Lions this World Cup.
This is it. I think there's some exciting players. Obviously, I know Q's just written them off, which I love because obviously it's the Germans. However, I think that I'm just looking at the squad in front of me now, and I'm going Leroy Sané in there, Gnabry, Musiala, as you mentioned. You've got the likes of Rudiger at the back, who obviously Peterson you'll love because Chelsea have been
love that man
without him.
Love him.
You've got experience in there as well with Muller and Neuer. Imagine that having that in your dressing room.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And Kimmich. You've got Goretzka. Who else on here? Julian Brandt as well. I think,
Yeah.
well, there's some some top talent in that team.
They have a quality side. I just think this is a group of death for me. I could see either three sides all making it through.
It's going to be a nightmare with somebody, a boo-boo. But Spain looking good. Any Costa Rican players to look out for?
No. Is Carlos Hernandez still playing for Costa Rica?
I think it's Jewison Bennett that I brought up, 18-year-old player that plays for Sunderland. Nice. Definitely one to look out for. He looked good in their last couple of friendlies as well. So he's an exciting player. I don't think Costa Rica are going to do too much of this World Cup. I'm writing them off completely. If there's any Costa Rica fans, I'm sorry, but yeah.
So the participation award goes to Costa Rica for rocking up to the World Cup. But let's go.
Enjoy your hot towels.
Yeah, let's go elsewhere, right? Obviously, this team, I feel like I haven't heard much noise about them, right? But they've been in and amongst it for years now. Belgium, Group F, Kevin De Bruyne, Hazard in there. You've got two unreal players, talent-wise. One has been playing a lot of football versus what the other one is. I feel like Hazard's like the new Bale in terms of he always turns up for his country, but never
someone else has been managing their minutes.
But are they, like, obviously on the squad on paper, another team who are obviously full of talent. Peterson, have you got any thoughts on Belgium doing well in this World Cup?
Yeah, look, this really feels like last chance saloon for Belgium. Like their golden generation has been peaking for like the last 10 years, it feels like. It felt like the last Euros was the last chance, but I think this might be the last chance. Like De Bruyne's not getting any younger and he's at his absolute peak. Like the Hazard brothers, Torgan's probably playing more football than Eden these days.
Yeah, probably true.
Yeah. But it's that defense that worries me for Belgium. It's been the same defense for like the past 10 years. It's still Toby Alderweireld. It's Jan Vertonghen. Fucking, what's his name? The guy that used to play for Arsenal and Barcelona is probably still hanging around too. He's 100 years old. So, yeah. But you got Thibaut Courtois there, who's, quietly confident himself that he is the greatest player in the world. So he thinks he's going to win the next Ballon d'Or if Belgium wins the World Cup. So.
Well, listen, if they do win the World Cup, then maybe he should. All right, let's go to some of the big hitters. Got to be Brazil next. I want to look at Group G. Should smash this group on paper, as we know, but it is the World Cup. Anything can happen. Obviously difficult, maybe games against Serbia. I'm sure they're going to put up a bit of a fight. And Serbia are not a team like a country who are going to be easy to play against. And Switzerland, no doubt. Surely there's going to be something there. Any thoughts on this group, lads, and players from Brazil that you obviously apart, Neymar's in there. Do you think these guys have got what it takes to go all the way?
I'm going to say it's unfair looking at Brazil's squad that they have so many good players. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, Bruno Guimaraes might not even start. It's ridiculous. But I think they're going to smash this group. I could see them putting 3 past Serbia. I think that there's going to be like a lot's been made about the defense, but who needs defense when you're scoring 7 goals a game? To be honest, that's how I could see them.
How many disciplined Brazilian defenders do you know, or can you reel off?
None.
Like Thiago Silva, maybe, but Cafu wasn't. He was like bombing up and down. It was like he was another striker when he played.
Nah, I think defensively they're probably not strong, which might be an issue later in the cup. But I just think that their attack is just ridiculous. They could literally, like, Richarlison has great form for Brazil. Neymar's a freak. Then you got Paqueta. Then you got Antony. You got Bruno Guimaraes.
Rafinha.
Vinicius Jr. Like, it's just unfair.
It's outrageous, isn't it? Dani Alves, 39 years old.
The man does not stop. He's like the Terminator.
Mere mortals, we can't play after 30, but he could probably play till he's about 50.
He'll be at the next World Cup too. He'll be at USA, Mexico.
Him and Ronaldo and Messi will be all playing each other in the next World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, next one we've got to chat about is Argentina, of course. Messi, probably last World Cup for him as well. On paper, and obviously another great team. South American, like Brazil, on paper, brilliant. I feel like Brazil have got a better one on paper, but when you've got someone like Messi in your team, anything's possible, right?
This Argentina team is playing 100% to get Leo Messi that trophy at the end of this tournament, and you saw what it meant to them when they won the Copa America. Was it earlier this year or last year? I can't remember now. It must have been last year. It was during lockdown.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Martinez in goals has made such a big difference for them, because Argentina always had this amazing side, and then they get to the World Cup.
Never a goalkeeper.
The keeper was always like Willy Caballero. It's like, are you for real? Like, out of a whole country, that's the best goalkeeper you have. So, yeah,
it's always been a weird one, that, hasn't it? I think that's always been the thing, hasn't it? Defensively, never been great. But then I'll tell you what's blown my mind, obviously, this season with Martinez at United in defence. He's a beast, right? He's an animal.
Yeah.
And he's changed United's backline, obviously. And now having a goalkeeper, a standout defender who at centre back. I don't think over the years they've even had that best one. I mean, like Ezequiel Garay was a good defender, never reached his full potential. Is it Milito? Is the brothers? The defender and the striker. Yeah. They obviously, he was Andy at the back as well. But still never reached heights. I'm trying to go back even further. Gabi Heinze, another United legend, Argentinian, nutcase. But you feel like defensively they've got them two now, goalkeeper, centre half, a lot stronger than attacking on paper. Dybala, Messi, even Di Maria, he still can do the business.
And Lautaro,
they've also got
Lautaro.
I was going to say Lautaro Martinez up front, like one of the
three Martinez. The three Martinez, isn't it? This is
another one in there. But he's been one of the best forwards in Europe for the last few years, 100%. And we've seen like the workload he does, and he brings the best out of Messi. Like the last few tournaments, we haven't seen the best of Messi sometimes, but this side just seems to work so well. Like all the pieces fit perfectly for them all to get the best out of each other, and they are missing like Lo Celso at the moment. He's carrying an injury, and while we haven't seen the best of him at club level, for Argentina he just does so well. But
does he play? Doesn't he play deeper for Argentina or not?
Yeah, he does. He plays much deeper for Argentina than he does it than he did at Spurs. That's for sure.
We're not taught. We're missing everyone's favorite Argentinian, Alexis McAllister.
Of course, let's talk about McAllister.
He's nearly so Scottish he could play for the Socceroos.
Mate, I spent this whole start of the FPL season thinking he was Scottish till I did some groundwork when I was talking about him. Like, oh shit, he's Argentinian. So he's now become my favorite Argentinian in the Premier League. But just looking at their attack, as we just spoke before, they've got Messi, Martinez, then they got Dybala, then they got Julian Alvarez. Like,
oh, there you go.
It's a pretty red hot attack.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. That's what Argentina do. Obviously, ranked 3 in the world on the FIFA corrupt rankings. However, Alvarez, we've had a taste of what he can do already in the Premier League and obviously in the Champions League and Cup. He's frightening. He looks like Aguero 2.0.
Yeah.
Imagine Garnacho in 4 years in that side as well.
Well,
have they called up anyone to replace Angel Correa, who got injured? Because I know they've ruled him out of the World Cup, but there was talk maybe your Man United Wunderkid might be making the side, but I haven't seen anything yet.
That'll be
nice. Leaving it late.
Not sure he'd get a game, but he's definitely, that'll be a good experience for him, wouldn't it?
His side just looks so stacked. Like it's hard to find. It's really hard to find a fault in this side, and we saw them at Copa beat Brazil in Brazil, so they've got what it takes to do the hard things.
And I even didn't even talk about Di Maria as well. He's been in good form as well, so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, some nice picks from them, and last but not least, let's just give Portugal a shout. Obviously, Cristiano leading the line there. Good team around him. Not too sure they're World Cup winning candidates, but Ronaldo in the team, not the player he was, but as we know, however, scores a lot of goals. for Portugal. Obviously, he scored the most goals ever by a player in international level. Is it possible, Peterson, or is it out of the question?
On paper, they look unbelievable, but Portugal just seem to make such hard work of everything when you watch them play. Like qualifying for tournaments, they make it look so hard. Like the amount of times they have to go through, extra qualifiers to make it through. It's ridiculous when you consider the amount of talent they can put on the pitch. But yeah,
I think Portugal or Ronaldo, they have to be dramatic. It'd just be too easy just to coast through. They need to score 7 goals against Sweden to make a World Cup because that's what they do.
bit of drama for sure, but obviously Bruno in behind him in midfield, and of course one of the best defenders that has ever lived and ever played the game, Pepe, at 39 years old, prime defender. There's some old people playing in this World Cup, isn't there?
Hey, 39 isn't that old. Let's just calm down a little bit.
For a footballer, Peterson, come on. For a footballer on the biggest stage there is.
Does he have one more red card in him?
That's a good bet, actually.
Pepe red card.
Sent off.
They're
off into the Doha sunset.
Their defenses are actually low-key pretty decent. They got Dalot, mate.
Diaz,
one of the
Cancelo,
best defenders in the Premier League this season.
Absolutely.
Then they got Cancelo, and then they got Ruben Diaz.
Yeah.
Solid. Pretty.
And Jose Sarr.
It's not bad. I mean, Dalot, what was it? I think it was 4-1 in a friendly the other day. Dalot, I think, got 2 assists, and Bruno scored 2. Looking lively. I think that's where he's really come of age, kind of thing, recently. Obviously, Dalot, representing Portugal as well. And he felt more confident because he was doing it there as well. He's come back to United and he's done the same thing, right?
He must be pretty good because he was one of only 2 players Ronaldo mentioned in the World Cup that he said he's a good young player at United.
I have to question that interview more and more. I saw I think it was like an Instagram story with Dalot, and he was like, "Who's your best mate at United?" It was like Cristiano. I'm like, so you just
legally they have to say that.
Following him around, he's just it's like he's tied up, isn't he? But I think Portugal, I guess we could they're going to be looking to progress. Do you think Uruguay will be second in there, or
I think they're going to be first. I think Uruguay will top the group.
Suarez will take out the group there, will he?
Yeah, I think Darwin Núñez, I think he's copped a lot of flack to start the season for Liverpool, and I think that he's going to have a good tournament. I think this is going to be his statement, and I think they're going to top the group. Unfortunately for me, because Portugal's my second side, but
well, can't be that much of your favourite if you're not backing him for. What do you mean, England aren't your second team?
Nah, it's it'll be Australia, Australia, Portugal,
Costa
Mexico.
Rica, Japan, Mexico.
Yeah, ever since Chicharito played for United, I had Mexico as my second, third side. So,
how many seconds have you got here?
I've got Mexico and Portugal are sort of my other sides to follow, and then I'll follow England. But yeah,
you got
mainly Mexico and Portugal.
30-second sides after Australia, and then England at the bottom.
Mate, I've got a Mexican jersey in my cupboard, so
that's impressive.
Arriba.
Peterson's currently just making.
It's the one with the
Peterson's
Mexican,
making you an offer on the chat right now.
How much for the shirt?
It's the one with the Mexican type hat pattern. I think it might have been the 2010 World Cup one.
Yeah.
He's definitely messaged you. He's just increased his offer on the chat there.
I did have tacos for dinner tonight, so.
How many pesos?
While we're still on this group, a player like Rafael Leao, I watch a lot of Milan, and Leao has hands down been the best player in Serie A the last couple of seasons. He was absolutely pivotal for Milan winning the title last season. He's got so much potential. If Portugal unleash him on this tournament, he's going to be unreal to watch. He's going to get so much attention. He's already getting a lot of attention from even the bigger clubs in European football. I know Chelsea's been linked with him, and they're basically ready to give Milan,
you're
a blank
You're not
check.
big anymore. Come on.
Our bank balance is big at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
Oh, it doesn't
there's an
matter.
offer there, but yeah, he could really tear this tournament to absolute shreds.
He could do. He hasn't actually scored a goal for Portugal yet.
Not yet, but he will.
He's ready. He's ready and raring to go.
primed.
It's only taking him 11 games.
There's so much talent in this side. It's ridiculous, but they'll probably
João
just labor
Felix.
to 1-0 wins.
Yeah,
I reckon he'll
that's
tag
what
as many
was
as
it.
Nuno
The
Gomes.
Euros where they got all the way to the final. I think they only won one game or tournament.
Yeah,
It's the England way of
It's
life.
the England way.
Minimal goals and no concede
That's how we're
none.
going to do it this time. Proper, very pragmatic, rely on penalties to get us through. And yeah, we're going to win the World Cup just like that. And they might make it into your top 2 countries to follow.
They'll be one of the top 2 anyway.
Very good, very good. Lads, I asked you to do a bit of homework. I wanted some differentials, some wonder kids, some top players, a bit of content for the guys who are playing fantasy to look out for, or even if they're just watching the World Cup, who should they be looking out for? Any background on information on them and how they're going to light this World Cup up?
I've got 2 players for you that I've done my homework as well. So Zelensky from Poland. He's only priced, I think it's 6.5 million. He's been outstanding in Champions League fantasy, and he's been outstanding for Napoli this season. So I think he's a great pick. I'm actually picking Poland to go through in their group, so I think that he could have a good World Cup. And Cody Gakpo from, if that's how you pronounce it, from the Netherlands. I've actually picked Netherlands to absolutely destroy their group. I think that who is it? Depay. I think he's got an injury cloud, so I could see Cody actually doing a bit of the heavy lifting for this Netherlands side, and I could see them, coasting through this group. And I don't think they play a hard game till about the semi-finals if they finish first. So, I think you're going to get some good games out of him. And he's been in top form. I think 9 goals and 12 assists this season, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, which is why United were so into wanting to buy him as well. But they have got. Let's just touch on. We didn't touch on Netherlands as well, so I suppose it's a good shout because they are on that good side of the draw, if there is one. It's a bit less ruthless than what England could potentially have with Germany, Brazil, France in there. So yeah.
I've got one more player. Sorry, I'm taking over your podcast here.
Not at all, mate. It's our podcast, this one. Don't worry. Go on.
He's a defender from Uruguay, Oliveira. He's only 4.5 million, and he's top quality. He's been playing for Napoli, and I think it was the game against Liverpool. He had something like 16 recoveries. He was an absolute machine. He ended up getting man of the match on FootMob, even though they lost 2-0 to Liverpool. So definitely one worth looking at because he does have attacking returns as well.
Mate, you've been scouting Napoli, haven't you? But they are in, they've looked pretty frightening, to be fair, haven't they? So
mate, they destroyed my most hated side in the Premier League, so I was always all for Napoli.
It's so nice couple of picks there. If you are playing fantasy football, or you are just watching the World Cup, couple of players just to look out for there who might make an impact. So cheers for that, Q. I do like the Napoli ones, all to be fair. Peterson, what have you got, mate?
Yeah, well, I mean, you touched on Cody Gakpo. He's an amazing player. I'm going to stick with the Dutch theme because, unlike you, I just have one second favorite side, and that is my beloved Netherlands that are just over my shoulder there. So a little bit of Dutch heritage on my grandfather's side. So I've always clung on to that.
You do look a bit Dutch, actually.
Yeah? I'm not tight with the budget, I swear.
Got a pair of clogs on.
No, but I do love gold. So, but yeah. So
you
touched on Cody Gakpo. I love gold. But someone else to look out for at this tournament is Tun Koop Miners. So he plays for Atalanta. He was
one more time.
His first name's really hard to say. Tun Koop Miners. I can say it with the Dutch accent. Koop Miners. With my best Louis van Gaal impersonation there, but this kid's unbelievable. So when he was at AZ Alkmaar, he was the best player in Eredivisie. Moved over to Atalanta, and he can play as a number 10. He usually plays a little bit deeper for the national side, but at Atalanta, he plays a little bit further up, and he has goals and assists in him. So he's probably not getting as much attention because Cody Gakpo is ready to just unleash on this tournament. But he's definitely a player that managers should look at. If you are playing fantasy game, look at Coop Miners.
Pete's going to sign up tonight, so
so I could have the whole Dutch national side. So. But there's a lot of the only Achilles heel for this Dutch side is the goalkeeping. So they're taking 3 goalkeepers into this tournament that have barely played a game for the national side,
and another old guy.
Another old guy. So depends what your definition of old is, but 39-year-old Remco Pasveer. He's basically his whole career has just been as like a backup keeper, like his whole career, and now he was like a 3rd choice at Ajax, and then due to injuries over the last season, he's now become number 1, and just timing being the pinnacle of everything has made his way into the national side for this World Cup. So.
It's like when the warehouse guys then, go out the front and start serving customers.
Exactly.
You're up.
So, I'm really excited about this Dutch side. Like the way that the balls fell for the draw, like you couldn't have asked for a better outcome because Qatar being the seeded side in that Group A was perfect for them because they really could have ended up in a group of death. But
the only thing stopping them is lots of millions of dollars paid to.
And Burnley fans out there, Wout Weghorst will be at this World Cup too. So
the workhorse,
the workhorse. If people are missing their Weghorst fill, tune into the World Cup.
Mate,
if only Brownhill was Dutch.
There? He's not there anymore, is he?
No, he's not. He's not. I think he's playing in Turkey now.
I was kind of hoping Brownhill was Dutch.
He's your favourite as well, Brownhill, isn't he?
He's my second favourite player.
I love to tell that. Another player I might throw up that we'll talk about if you're looking for a couple of roughies is Noah Okafor. So he's Swiss. He's unbelievable.
Is he Leipzig?
He's at Salzburg. So saw quite a bit of him during the group stages because they were in Chelsea's group, and he scored against Chelsea, and I think he scored in one of the other games too. And he is so fast, like he is blistering fast. And Switzerland have this weird thing where they manage to get out of the group at every tournament. Like no one ever fancies them, but they manage to get out every single time. They knocked out France at the last World Cup, I think at the quarterfinal stage with the shootout there with Jan Sommer in defense. So,
and they got Brian Bolo as well. I'm actually looking forward to seeing him play.
Underrated striker.
And
strong, fast.
Granit Xhaka, who used to play out of his skin for Switzerland and played dull for Arsenal. Now it's, he's going to be taking that Arsenal form in. So
I'm just glad he's gone from kicking players to kicking footballs now. So it's good.
I used to really hate Granit Xhaka. And then did you guys watch the All or Nothing Arsenal series? Yeah. And I ended up loving him after that. It's like, he's so nice. He's got a family. Of course he's got a family. Everyone's got a family. But he looks so nice.
Kicking people for his family. That's what he does. I think this is going to be a tournament of strikers because I want to mention Jonathan David as well from Canada.
Oh, he's my one I was about to mention then.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing Jack prepared for tonight.
I was like, Jonathan David, experienced, still pretty young, had a lot of games, scores goals.
He's Canadian.
Mate, he's the football manager wonder kid that's been forever a wonder kid. I feel like he's been a wonder kid for about 20 years now.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about wonder kids in that team, right? Alphonso Davies, sick. What a baller he is.
And he's got a broken heart as well, mate. So he's going to be playing all or nothing.
Mate, he's all in, and he's going to be giving it large. I think he's got to do something. I just want to see him do something. I feel like he's like Bale when he was like 17.
Yeah, like, electric. Just so much pace.
Electric, raw, loves it. Brilliant left foot on him. Can play. There's no one else on the left-hand side. Everyone else is on the right. He's just there on his own. Left back, left mid, left forward.
I actually think Garen Quoll, I think he's going to get game time the last 2 games. I don't think they'll start him against France. I think it's a bit of a baptism of fire, but I rate him so much. Like I've been watching so much A-League and I'm just like, it feels like he's just come from nowhere. He went from like playing a game to now I'm just frothing. I'm absolutely frothing.
I'm just looking through like a player got to give a shout out, Christian Eriksen from Denmark.
Oh, mate.
Back from the dead.
So good. Plays for a
Literally.
great club as well. Great
Literally
club,
back
great
from the
player.
dead.
Like, what a story from the Euros. Died, signed a 3-year deal. Well, sorry, came back alive. Signed a 3-year deal with United after playing for Brentford for 6 months, impressing. And he's one of United's best players easily. And now he's
Imagine
Guy's
being
still suffering
revived.
at United. Imagine
Yeah.
dying and then having to go play at United.
Yeah.
Hasn't he suffered enough?
Yeah, he's like, fucking put me out of my misery.
He'll probably
It's
just
true.
seek asylum at Qatar and won't want to come back.
Yeah, but shout out to him for playing this. He's got to be a player to watch, and I'm not too sure what he's on fantasy if you are playing it, but
I think he's
He's-
6.5.
He's always unbelievable at that.
he's going to
international level.
do things, surely, isn't he? So
Yeah.
shout out to him, and yeah, be interested to see how he goes. Jude Bellingham, for me, like he's listen, they might seem a bit more holding, but he might seem more of an 8 for England. He's a Rolls Royce, as I say, before we went live. Big fan of him. 19 years old. He's absolutely balling. He's captain of Dortmund now, I think, as well. Done great things in the Champions League this season. And this could be a great little World Cup for him as well to make an even bigger impact. A bit similar to what you said about Foden. And hopefully he can make an impact and see. But I'm presuming he's probably similar on there as EQ price-wise as Eriksen. 6.5, maybe 7.
Yeah, I think Eriksen's around that 7.5. Jude, I think 7.
Yeah, nice.
I was having a look at the point scoring though for this, and they're going to be giving away points for key passes. So I think Jude could actually
make an
be a
impact there.
decent asset. It brings these defensive midfielders into play.
Yeah, because he's got everything in there. He can defend as well, but he can he's great attacking as well. So he'd be a good little pick in there. And if you're going a bit very very differential, you could look in the England team. Madison,
He's in my
he
side.
might get some minutes. If go on.
Oh, I just can't wait to see Trippier. He's been dominating the Premier League now. He's just going to dominate the World Cup.
Again,
he's on free. He'll be on free kicks, and listen. England are going to win the World Cup, lads. Trip's is going to lift the World Cup,
and then get injured. No, Callum Wilson will trip on the way to the stage, and then he'll be out for the season.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So obviously we mentioned our little picks in there. So thank you, gents, for coming up with the goods there. I think there's some good stuff for people to go off. Let's play a quick little predictor. I am going to just get off now and just finish
see
off.
the comment from Cole Bugler.
Yeah, Colin, thanks for joining us and jumping in the comments. Jonathan David, his second favourite player, of course.
Next to Brownhill.
Next to Brownhill. And Chazza, before he went to bed, also said, it's coming home. Now, Chazza is in Australia, so hopefully he was he referring to the Socceroos there? Not really a chant for them. But we'll get the predictor up in a second. Q, is your team sorted for fantasy?
Yeah, I've actually. I think I'm set.
Do you want to go through your team, reel it off quickly?
Yep, and I'm just tossing up whether to use a chip because I'm not sure whether, Pete, you've seen the new chips for the fantasy game, so you can have a 12th man, so you just pick. There's no budget, and you can pick a 12th player to score points, so you can pick anyone.
That's so
not
random.
in your squad. So I'm tossing up whether to play that card or there's a captaincy chip where it just picks the highest scoring player for the week, and that's your captain.
Yeah, that would be handy in FPL, wouldn't it?
I'll just get my side up now.
Is there anything you've seen on Joe, obviously with these different rules that are in this fantasy one, again, different from Champions League that you've played, definitely different from A-League fantasy. How is it?
Everything's different from A-League fantasy.
What would you like to take from this game that you've seen already, or are you just waiting to try and get through the first couple of match days and see what?
I'm sort of in a position where I think I don't know whether I should just wait to see what happens after week 1, but I'm tempted to use that 12th man chip and get in the likes of maybe like an Mbappe or someone like that I don't have in my squad.
Yeah, sick.
But
all right.
at the moment,
You ready? You ready to go? Go on, mate.
Yep. Sorry. just my Wi-Fi is like a potato at the moment, so I'm just trying to. So at the moment, my team is Martinez in goals. I got is it Marley from Denmark?
Go for it. Why not?
Mahi, Maeh.
Oh, the Dortmund. Or is it still Dortmund?
Oh, the Milan,
Marley.
the Milan defender.
Milan.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
no.
mate.
Marley.
Australian have no.
He had a sick Euros, didn't he? He had such a good Euros.
I got Dumfries from Netherlands.
Another guy who had amazing Euros. Yeah.
Denzel.
Trippier, Dallo. Then
Wow.
Zelensky, De Bruyne, Gavi from Spain.
All
And I got
I can
Messi, Neymar, Gatpo. And then I've got Matty Ryan, who's just going to get bonus points from saves because he's going to make at least 20 a game. And got Cicito from Ecuador, who's
Is
at
he the
Brighton.
ex-City? Is he ex-City? Oh, is that Brian? I was thinking it was a striker.
Yeah.
And then I got that, is it De Rasque from Uruguay?
Take your word for it.
And then I've got Matthias Oliveira from Uruguay as well, that defender I was talking about.
Pick. So those two picks, you've backed yourself there and you've put them into your team as well. Mate, on paper, that team's sick.
But yeah, I'm going between Gavi and Jude Bellingham. So I'm not sure yet in that last spot.
Well, you don't rate Spain, so you might as well put Bellingham in.
Yeah, well, I don't rate. I rate Spain. I just think that Japan are going to surprise a few, mate. So, shout out to all the Japanese fans that are tuning into the pod. Your review's about to go up tenfold, mate.
That's it. What about what's that Japanese guy called, the 50-year-old who's playing fourth division?
Endo.
King Kazu.
Kazu. Has he not made the team?
Sorry?
Has he not made the team? You know, as soon as it's got a lot
No,
of
I
players
think
in
he
this.
just missed out.
Is he not coaching?
He's still playing. He's playing like, I think, third division Japanese football or something.
No, he's
That's
came on
right,
and scored. He came on and scored.
He'll end
last
up
week.
in the A-League next year. So
Again, he was here years ago.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Was he?
back when he was only 40, I think. He came out. He played for Sydney FC like in like season 1 or 2. He made like a guest appearance.
That's insane.
Yeah, and he probably would have been like close to 40 at that stage. So
Yeah, but he hasn't peaked. Still.
Have you seen the Japan squad at all, Jack?
No, mate. Is Inamoto playing?
Yes. They got
He is playing.
Tommy
The guy who used to play for
Yasu.
Arsenal 20 years ago.
Oh no, because I just saw a name and it looks exactly like that.
How about Hitoshi Nakata?
there's a player.
Now there's
Old
a player.
school.
What a player he was.
Nakamura from Celtic.
Wow, free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Kubo from Real Sociedad, who's a decent player. Then they got Minamo
Never
from
fulfilled his
Monaco.
potential, did he? Kubo.
Hey, Endo's still playing. Oh, he's only 29. I felt like he was older than that.
Oh. There's
Anyone
a few
else?
players here that play in Bundesliga. So
Yeah,
Oh,
half
decent.
of this list is from either the French league or the Bundesliga.
So yes, no major standouts. All right, so what we'll do, we'll jump on to well, I did a predictor, right? Of course, you know what the result was. In the end. God, I'll just ruin that straight away. But listen, in Group A, and listen, we can go through this and we can change ones around wherever you think. But I'll put Netherlands first, Ecuador second, Senegal third, and Qatar fourth. I'll put Senegal third because obviously Mane's out, right? Can you see this or not? You can't see this, can you?
Yeah.
You can? Oh, my screen crashing, that's why. Is it frozen?
It looks like it's frozen.
Here we go.
There we go.
I've
Your
already
mic's
done my
up.
bracket as well, Jack, so we can compare after.
Yeah. Sounds good, mate. Well, you can just give your opinions as we go along here as well. Group B, England top, USA second, Wales third, Iran fourth. I wasn't that harsh in this predictor, as I was brutally honest before. Argentina first in Group C, Poland second, Mexico third, and Saudi fourth. That one's I wasn't too sure between
Yeah, that's
Poland
the
and
same
Mexico.
as me.
Group D, I had to go France first, Denmark second, Tunisia third, Australia fourth.
Mate,
Oh.
get out, mate. You're a hater. You're a
The
hater.
shade.
No, I should know better. Really, I'm a citizen now, so I should, should be better, shouldn't I?
They'll deport you now.
No, no, yeah,
I'm
sorry,
going
guys.
to ring the government after we get off air and let them know to revoke it.
Mate, it's not a temporary visa anymore. Citizenship, it's fine. Passport's on its way, mate. Group E, the Germans in first, I put. And just to throw it up a little bit, Spain in second, Japan in third, and Costa Rica in fourth. I do think Spain might take a couple of games to get going, that's all. I feel like that's
I've got Japan in first, Spain in second. For mine.
Unreal stuff. Unreal. Group F. I don't think did I do this one properly? Yeah, I did do it. Yeah, Croatia first, Belgium second, Morocco third, Canada fourth.
I've got Canada and Belgium. Belgium then Canada. Sorry.
Oh wow, not even Croatia in there. Modric's another senior pro, if we might say so. Is he not going to carry the team? It's probably because he's not got Mandzukic.
It's all about Jonathan David and Alfonso, mate. The Fonz.
The Fonz. In Group G, Brazil first, Switzerland second, Serbia third, Cameroon fourth, and in Group H, Portugal first, Uruguay second, Ghana third, and Korea Republic in fourth. Any objections against any of that, lads?
No, pretty much the same.
Yeah, I got Switzerland coming second in that Group G as well, just because they always give it out of the group.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Mitrovic versus Embolo. Whoever has the better tournament, their team will go through.
Yeah, nice. Into the round of 16, predicted Netherlands versus USA. That turned out to be. So I did go the Netherlands. Do you think that's about right? Do you think they could do it?
Netherlands and Wales, and Netherlands winning.
Yeah, fair enough. And then Argentina, Denmark should be a decent game. But I did go Argentina in that one. Went with Messi.
Yeah, you don't want to finish second in that group because you end up playing Argentina.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong actually. Yeah, I mean France finished second there in that group. Oh, I'll tell you what. Well, if the Aussies get through, they're absolutely doomed, aren't they? Surely.
Well, if Aussies get through, then Argentina no chance. But
it's a good problem to have if they do get through. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I don't care if we get beat 8-0. I'll be happy.
Listen, I just need to put Colm straight here. A citizen, you're a closet Man City fan. Oh God. Yeah, I can't even come back from that. You need to change the word citizen, don't they? You're not wrong, Colm. So my apologies. A couple of Hail Marys tonight. So let's have a look. Germany, Belgium. I did go as the Germans in there. This is horrendous, this, isn't it? Look at it. Germany, Belgium in this fixture potentially, and then Brazil and Uruguay in that one. And then the winner obviously plays in that next round, Germany versus Brazil. But it's frightening, that, isn't it? That potential.
Yeah, you'd almost argue that in that Spain-Germany group, you're better off finishing second in that group. You get a slightly easier pathway.
Yeah.
Wonder if there might be some tanking in the last round.
God, yeah. In the next one, so Brazil, Uruguay, Brazil to qualify out of there. England, Ecuador, which is, looks good to me. Happy days in there. And France, Poland in the next one. I had France down to win, so England would progress to play against France in that next round in the quarterfinals. Croatia, Spain. I had Spain. And they'd play either Portugal or Switzerland, and I put Portugal there. So, Spain versus Portugal in that one. That'd be a cracking game, wouldn't it?
There's going to be some really good games instead of that quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I mean, even in that last 16, like I said.
Yeah, round of 16, quarterfinals. Look
this
really
is going to
good.
be tasty all the way through, is it? There's not going to be any bad, any really that bad fixtures, really, not to watch. I think that's when we all become definitely the World Cup tragics and watch every single game because they are kind of not to be missed, especially with some of the teams that are on offer and some of the last World Cups for a lot.
I'll tell you what, work is going to get some great work out of me for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Spain, Portugal. Put Spain in there. Do you think Spain would be the ones in the quarterfinals there to progress, or Portugal?
It's a pretty tough game, actually. Probably Spain. I think depends what Portugal's doing, whether they're just playing their football of going for draws every week. You
feel like Spain would just try and pass them to death, wouldn't you? And Portugal trying to counter-attack sort of thing.
I'm just glad we don't have Spain in our group. I could not deal watching Australia versus Spain again, where Spain just keeps all the possession, and we're like
It's not a
that
great game to watch, is it?
No, we're like that little kid in the playground that's getting picked
Chase
on
shadows.
and can't do anything about it.
It's just not great hype around the World Cup when you're playing against Spain, is it? It's like you're never going to get the ball. What's the point in playing? Elsewhere in that next one, so I had England, France. Boy, what to meet them sort of in the quarterfinals. It's not a good run for England, as we know, potentially. But yeah, England, France. Would you be back in England? Obviously, Q, I know you're going France there, aren't you?
No, France won't have any. Well, because England's
France
one
won't
of my
progress.
second favourite sides. I think France will be lucky to have a starting 11 by the knockout stage. So I'd tip England over that. I think England will be refreshed because they can afford to rest players, where France, I don't think, has that luxury.
They are dwindling down on players now. I even know they've got about 50 starting players. Germany, Brazil. Oh my goodness. Thoughts?
Revenge for the 7-1.
There's going to be like
the tables
X-Dolls
turn,
all through the Brazil hexing Germany.
It's an outrageous game to have in the quarterfinals. It's a shame that it's so early, but hopefully, Q, you're right in terms of Germany aren't the team that they used to be, and that way,
I think it could be Brazil versus Japan in this game, possibly.
Yeah, mate, you're back in Japan big, aren't you? You are going big.
You beat Japan.
Home, mate. It's the greatest tournament in the world where anything can happen.
You're not wrong. Argentina, Netherlands. I think Argentina have got this, haven't they? I just feel like Netherlands are ball jobs.
Yeah.
Does that hurt, Peterson, or you're right with that?
Well, I'm just happy to be part of it this time around. They weren't there last World Cup, so we're here to make some friends and play some football.
Okay.
No, Argentina would, just too strong.
Yeah,
too experienced, too strong.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so out of that would mean Argentina, Brazil in this scenario. Argentina, Brazil. Where are you going, lads? Are you going Yargies or are you going the Brazilians?
I'm going to go Brazil.
Messi or Neymar?
I'm tipping Brazil to win the World Cup. I think Neymar's going to have that tournament where he's going to do everything possible to get this World Cup. So I'm tipping Brazil.
His stats are frightening, aren't they?
I'm tipping Argentina.
Oh,
the other one.
Boo.
Do you think that's going? What kind of game do you think that's going to be? Do you think it's going to be like a high-scoring game?
Hopefully, one with lots of cards, because it'd be great fun to watch.
Lots of cards and lots of goals.
Lots of cards, lots of goals. We're just sitting here eating the popcorn.
Ends up 5v5 on the field with 10 each.
Yeah, it would be
crazy
insane.
Game.
The real scoring.
It's just a shame that that can't be the final. But anyway, it is what it is.
The real talking point is what hairstyle is going to be the hairstyle for this World Cup. So we've had the front fringe in 2002. What's going to be the haircut for this World Cup?
Well, what one are you going with? What are you doing? What are you doing with your hair?
Mate, I'm due for a haircut. So
surprise us on the next pod.
Someone needs Chaz's mullet at the World Cup. One of the Aussies needs to have a proper mullet.
Oh, no, I feel like the Welsh have got the bucket hat and the Aussies should have the mullet.
Bucket hat.
Oh, everyone at the Socceroos just with a big mullet like Chaz.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
Someone put up a screenshot of in one of my group chats. So the Simpsons have predicted the World Cup final. It's going to be Mexico versus Portugal.
Don't think that one's likely, is it? Listen, I don't think I put this one. I didn't pick England, Spain.
I
think I did the prediction. Let's change that.
That's head over heart. That's why. He's changed it. Changed it live on TV.
You chose Brazil as your champion. No way. I need to change that in a second. There we go.
So even the computer, even your own computer doesn't
change this over.
Computer says no.
All right, so it leaves us with I've gone Brazil. So Peterson, you're outnumbered on that for the grand final, mate. So the final, Brazil versus England.
Australia magically to be awarded the third place just because.
And this is how it ended up. Oh, it's coming home.
Oh,
Here we go. There we go. Brazil, England in the final. Listen, if that happens, lads, what do you reckon?
Well,
I
I
think
had
it'd be a good game.
Argentina, England in my final. So
Yeah, but
I think England can go
so that's twice.
nearly all the way.
I'm going to double check actually what my final ended up being.
I reckon yours is England.
Yeah, it's Brazil and England, and I had Brazil.
All right, so yeah, Brazil. But I just feel like England have got a bit of a defense versus what they've got. So I don't
See,
know.
my semi-final was England versus Uruguay, Brazil versus Argentina.
I feel like you've just gone proper against the grain, you haven't you, with all these predictions? I love it. I can't believe the Socceroos aren't there randomly. Japan are up there, Uruguay up there.
Japan.
So,
Where's Japan, Q?
Actually, see, I actually think Japan are going to outperform all the Asia teams. And who was it? Jamie Carragher? Who was it that was pretty much saying that all of Asia are pants and they're all going to finish bottom of the group? So I'm just going to tweet at him just relentlessly.
just smash him, yeah, smash the Scouser. All right, so that touches on the bracket. Obviously, England are going to win the World Cup, as we've just seen. And predicted. I'm getting a lot of backup here as well off the boys, so it's definitely going to happen. But in reality, I think Brazil are looking like the likely ones as the favourites. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Definitely.
There was actually a betting agency in Australia that was offering 100-1 odds for every team at the World Cup.
You can drop the name of it if you want. If you want to.
But I think they took it down.
Oh. Right. Well, never mind. If you're on that, then well done, and you're going to reap the rewards, hopefully. But yeah, listen, I think that brings us to time here. It's where are we now? 5 hours before kickoff. Q, is that what your alarm clock set?
Yep. No, it's going to be set at 2 a.m. I think I might get up watch some of the opening ceremony. I want to see if Speed is gets the official song for the World Cup.
Oh, okay. Do you want to give us a line?
Do you know that Speed fella, the YouTube fella that made that World Cup song?
No. Do you want to give us a line or not?
No, mate. It's actually.
Listen, it's tradition to sing on the podcast, mate. It's tradition,
mate. It's a horrendous song, but it's actually quite catchy.
Is it worse than your voice or not?
No, I don't have it in me. But I'll put it in our group chat and you can check it out. It's actually it's a banger song. It's horrible and good at the same time. So
I'm sure it'll be a memorable one. Like this World Cup is going to be. Very excited. Listen, we've touched on a little bit of fantasy there, but we did want to make this a bit more of a World Cup banter show. Have chats and discussion and flesh out, where England are going to end up and where the Socceroos are going to end up.
We could be back online after 6 points from the Socceroos.
Listen, if the Socceroos get 6 points, I think we'll have a party on the podcast.
Mate, you won't see me. I'll be at the fan.
You'll actually be at the fan park there with your contraband alcohol.
I'll tell you what.
Sports bar in Sydney that we're at for the FPL social. I'll be there.
Yeah, cheers.
I'll get let into the nightclub downstairs, so I'll have a Japanese shirt on.
I do want to bring up, let's have a quick look at the scores, what we predict, actually, lads. So, Qatar and Ecuador kicking us off for the 2022 World Cup. Peterson, what is your prediction for this first game, mate?
Oh, I don't know who's going to win, but all I know is Qatar is going to score a penalty. I put money on it, so $8.40.
$8.40.
They've been getting a ton of penalties behind the scenes in practice matches, and I'm sure the referees will, maybe have a few incentives, maybe to help out the home team.
Listen, we're not encouraging any corruption here, but there's definitely corruption in this World Cup. We're just highlighting it could be this game and this team.
I think Qatar might actually win this game. Like they've been waiting 12 years for this.
We heard on another podcast. Allegedly.
A thief? Yeah.
A thief?
A thief.
All right, so you're going Qatar?
Yeah, I'll go Qatar. Why not?
I'm going 2 or draw.
Oof.
Which one
Hey,
of
Ben.
those two teams is one of your second teams?
Ecuador will be my second team in the morning because I have Socceroos in my fantasy side. So I'll be full, 100% Ecuador.
Yeah, Ecuador. I'll go Ecuador. I think Q, you're being brave there. You're praying for goals because it's such an early morning kickoff to start
Mate,
with.
if there's
that
no
you're praying.
goals, I'm going to be so cranky and tired.
That will be one. And I'll tell you what, we'll just do these first kind of fixtures. Obviously, England, Iran. I'm going to go 4-0 England. And it's all going to be done. It's all going to be done in the second half. I think the business will be done in the second half. Peterson, we'll go same order again.
Yeah, England win. I don't know what the score is, but England will win that game. I'll go 2-0.
2-0.
I'm 3-0 England.
Nice. Senegal, Netherlands, Peterson.
Yeah, Netherlands 3-0.
Oof.
I have 3-1. Will Netherlands will give them a bit of a gimme goal at the end just to make them feel good.
Oh, well, I'm going to go 1-0 Netherlands. United States, Wales. I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. I'm going to go Team USA 1-0. Team America. Fuck yeah.
I'm going to go 2-2, and Gareth Bale is going to score and then do a golf celebration just to rub it in the face of all the people that said he couldn't play golf.
Yeah, good points for that one, mate. Argentina, Saudi Arabia. We're going for a 9-1.
Cricket score. Messi might win the Golden Boot just from this game alone.
Just from this game.
Yeah, just from this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5-0 to Argentina.
Yeah, let's go 5-0.
Yeah, goals galore. Well, I'm excited. I'm ready. Well, listen, lads, I want to say thank you to you both for joining us on the FPL Addicts podcast. Peterson, great debut, mate.
Pleasure joining you guys. It was a lot of fun. I've had an absolute blast.
Oh, yeah. Perfect, mate. Quentin, you had a good time coming back on, mate? Been a while?
Nah, it's been good, mate. It's the only thing that got me through work today, knowing that I was going to come on here and talk football.
No, that's it. And listen, thanks again for you both for joining the FPL Addicts podcast for this evening, the World Cup preview show. Had a good time with this. I'm getting excited for the World Cup now. Can't wait for tomorrow night. I'm not too sure I'm going to get up for the morning for the opening ceremony and the Ecuador Qatar belter, but I'll definitely be up for the England-Iran game, midnight kickoff for that one here in Australia on Monday night, Tuesday morning, and then we are up and running, aren't we? We are up and running. It is World Cup time, baby. 4 weeks of football, but international football with some of the best players in the world playing the last World Cup as well, which is it's bittersweet, isn't it? It's going to be emotional watching some of these players grace the countries for the last time in the World Cup. But thank you everyone for joining us who jumped on in and out of and contributed in the comments. If you're looking for a bit more fantasy content, definitely follow Quentin at FPL Amateurs of us, because he will be doing a lot of content for the fantasy. We will be jumping in and out with it, but we have got the code. Just wait for this ticker to come past again. If you do want to join the fantasy podcast, the World Cup fantasy is QFO63SEV, and that is our mini league for the World Cup. So good luck, guys. If you have chosen your fantasy teams, good luck with all them, and enjoy the World Cup. It's going to be a belter. Until next time, we'll see you later. Thanks again, guys, for joining us.
See ya.
See you later.